Good morning, friends. This is Sexologist Dr. Uttam, and I welcome you to Intimate Relationship videos. Today, I'm going to discuss a very important sexual topic, and that is when should you go and take the help of a sexologist? Or, in other words, when should you visit a sexologist? Well, people have different things in their mind. Some of them they think that when the problem becomes unbearable, that is at a very last stage, then you should go and see a sexologist. Well, that is not something I would ever recommend. Some people they think that when the partner keeps on complaining endlessly, and that becomes a source of conflict, and that is the time when you should go and seek the help of a sexologist. Again, this is not something which I would ever suggest because if a partner is making a complaint, something should be done about it, irrespective of whether you are a man or a woman. And some men or women think that they cannot hide their problem from their partner any longer. Like they have been avoiding sex for quite some time now with the pretext of having a headache or being too tired and things like that. And when they realize that they cannot actually hide their problem any longer because your partner is not dumb, so that's when they decide that they should go and see a doctor. Well, let me tell you one thing. All these three ways of looking at a sexual problem are completely erroneous. Uh, a little later, I'll tell you when to see a doctor, but let us now try to see what exactly is erectile dysfunction. Today, specifically, I'm going to talk about a sexual problem called erectile dysfunction and how it kind of matches with the discussion of today. Say, for example, a man attempts sex and he fails to attain and maintain an erection for about 25% of the time he tries to have intercourse with his wife. Now, 25% is a very, very important marker. If you think that more than 25% of your attempts are, not going correctly or failing to have a hard on, then that's a time to, go and see a sexologist or a sex therapist, whoever is required. Now, there are some other things which you need to understand when you're making this decision to visit a sexologist. The first thing is that you should not be waiting for years and years to see a sexologist. I have patients who tell me that they have been subjected to this problem for 5 years, 10 years, and they are coming to me for the first time. That really surprises me that how could they manage to live with their problem for so long. The second thing which you need to understand is that no matter how much you may wish that the problem will go away on its own, it does not go away on its own. For example, if a man has an erection problem and he thinks that it's going to go away on his own, if he has a problem of premature ejaculation and he thinks it's going to go away on his own, or a woman is not able to reach an orgasm, or she lacks the desire to have sex, these things cannot be wished away. You cannot just remain passive and assume that with a period of time these things will go away. So don't ever be under that illusion that you don't need to take any treatment and it will be cured on its own. The next thing which you need to understand is that if you are not going to a sexologist, you are depriving yourself of a sexual pleasure and you are also depriving your partner of sexual pleasure, which you have no right. Fine, because now you're married, so legally speaking, you are supposed to give her satisfaction and she is supposed to give you satisfaction in return. So if you are not going to a doctor, then this basically aspect of your life is being completely denied, and that is not fair on your partner. So that is also one of the reasons why you should go. There are some other hesitancies which people have in seeking the help of a sexologist. That is, they're very embarrassed and shy. Now, let me tell you one thing. There is nothing to feel embarrassed or shy, when you have to visit a sexologist. If you have a stomach ache, you go to a doctor. The doctor examines your stomach and then gives you some medicines and certain precautions to be taken. When you have a toothache, you go to a dentist and he either gives you medication or removes your tooth or some other things he tells you to do. Similarly, if you have a sexual problem, uh, at the most what the doctor is going to do is he is going to examine you. He's going to take your sexual history, your medical history, your psychological history, and so on. So there's nothing to be ashamed of the fact that, you should not feel shy or embarrassed to visit a doctor. There is no reason at all. Uh, and one more thing which you need to understand while, like this, when you are in the midst of this sexual problem, a man thinks that he becomes less of a man when he has a sexual problem. Now, this is one of the biggest myths which, like float in the minds of men. And that is also one reason why men think that, it's not okay to go and see a sexologist. Of course, it's okay to go and see a sexologist. Or even if a woman has a sexual problem, she doesn't have to feel that she's a less of a woman because she has a problem. A problem can arise in either the male or the female partner or in both of them. And as a very simple remedy, you need to take an appointment with a sexologist and go and work out your problems. Now, coming to the last part of my uh, presentation, that is, when should you seek the help of a doctor? Well, I am not saying that the first time you have an erection problem or the first time the woman fails to reach an orgasm, you should go and see a doctor. But if we are not counting, let's say you are not able to keep a track of the number of sexual attempts you are making and failing, then there is also another way through which you can keep a track and see when you need to go and see a doctor. And that is, if you are having sex regularly and continuously for 3 months, if you face this problem, then I would advise you that you please go and see a doctor, because if you wait for more than 3 months, the problem is not going to get better, it's just going to get worse. And treating you then would be more difficult than if you go to a doctor earlier and start the treatment earlier. So thank you very much for this video, and I hope this video will encourage many of you around in this country, to visit a sexologist as and when you need. And there should be absolutely no hesitation in seeing a sexologist. Thank you so much for watching this video.